name is Kae Jensen. I'm the Dean of STEM at the College of Western Idaho, and I'm asked all the time, how on earth can we do science at home in an online class? So I want to share with you today a pretty simple example of the way that you can do chemistry at home in your kitchen. If you're not taking a chemistry class, I encourage you to share this with your kids because this is something that they'll enjoy as well. What we're going to demonstrate today is the concentration gradient and the evidence that chemicals and other things as well in life move from higher concentrations to lower concentrations. Balance in life is important, both in science and in relationships, so social scientists can use this too. All we need is a clean paper plate, or it could be glass, but paper works, and some clear water. Different colored Skittles, or you could use M&Ms, but the chocolate gets a little bit messy. For this experiment, you place one Skittle in each of the 4 corners, although it's a circle, of your plate. And then allow them to just dissolve for a moment. As they dissolve, they're going to dissolve equally because the temperature of the water is the same throughout the entire plate. Now, what are some of the things that might get in the way of this experiment working correctly while we wait for those Skittles to dissolve? First, it has to be a level surface, because if it's not, then the water's not going to be level in the plate. So keep that in mind. If that doesn't work, that might be part of the problem. Ideally, you'll use equal-sized Skittles. So those ones that are broken, just let your kids eat those. And then if the water is warm, the sugar will dissolve a little bit faster, which makes this go a bit faster. So if you're impatient or you have little kids, use warm water to start. You can begin to see that the Skittles are dissolving equally and the color of those Skittles is spreading out through the plate. The only other item you're going to need for this experiment is sugar. So we've taken about 5 minutes to allow the Skittles to fully dissolve, and you can see that they've got pretty clearly defined lines because the sugar concentration is the same for each of the Skittles. Now for your kids, that's sufficient, but if you're in a chemistry class, you could further this experiment by comparing a line between different colors. So start it over again, and this time put green next to yellow, and see if there's the same diffusion that we're seeing happening here on the edges of that green. We've got a lot of different ideas about why that might happen, and if you were in the class, you'd probably get to explore those. But for this experiment, what we want to demonstrate is simply that altering the concentration of chemicals changes the dynamics and the concentration gradient. So what I have here is just a teaspoon of sugar. Basically, it's the sugar in those Skittles that's holding the colors in place. When I add this additional sugar to the center of the plate, and it dissolves, we'll see that those colors move around in different ways. Once again, we've waited about 5 minutes for the sugar to dissolve to give you really clear evidence that that concentration gradient has changed. No longer do we have clearly defined lines between each of the colors, but instead, as the sugar dissolves and moves through the water, it moves the color with it. If you were to wait longer, you'd still see additional changes in the way that the color is displayed. Hopefully, this will be an easy opportunity for you to experience concentration gradients and the idea that chemicals move from higher concentrations to lower concentrations at home in your own kitchen.